Welcome to Meet the Franchise, the show where franchisors share their vision, values, and an insider look at the business behind the brand. Let's get today's show started.
Welcome to Meet the Franchise, the show that introduces you to some of the best franchise opportunities available in the marketplace today. I'm Joan Bowling, your host for today's show. If you've ever dreamed of owning a business that brings people joy, creates unforgettable memories, and can be run with your family by your side, you're going to love today's guests. I'm joined by Veronica and Tim Wyatt, founders of Pecan Jack's Ice Cream and Candy Kitchen, a handcrafted candy and ice cream franchise that's spreading smiles and sweet success across the country. Known for their liquor-infused ice cream, made from scratch pralines, and a business model built on joy and creativity, Pecan Jack's offers a truly unique opportunity for passionate franchise owners. Veronica and Tim, welcome to the show. So glad to have you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's start with your story. What inspired you to start Pecan Jack's, and how did that evolve into a franchise opportunity for families who want to build something special?
I would say we started our business out of a necessity during an economic downturn in 2009, and we grew from there through a holiday store into permanent stores in Virginia, and then we relocated to Florida, where we added ice cream to our pralines and our brittles and our other candies that we offered. And we had no idea that it would grow into a franchise opportunity at the time. And the more and more we served our customers here in Santa Rosa Beach, the more we found out that the customers are looking to bring what we have to offer back to their communities. So that inspired us to franchise. And in doing so, that is exactly what has happened. Many of our franchisees are our customers that have brought our business back to their town.
Very good. So you're building those relationships, and that is growing into those franchise opportunities. Now, there is no shortage of dessert concepts out there. But what makes you, Pecan Jack's, truly stand out in the franchise world? What is that? And why should someone invest in this brand over any others?
The most important thing that we do is we create all the recipes for the products that we make. A lot of them are things that we learned as kids making through our family members. And but then as far as the ice cream goes, Ronnie one day, she said, "We're going to Florida and you can make ice cream." So that's how that one got started. So we make all the recipes, all the different ice cream flavors, all by scratch.
And that's fantastic. And that conversation then has grown to many, many different kinds of ice creams. But the reason why someone wants to invest in this brand over others is, name some of those things. I'm thinking, again, the variety of products that you have, delicious candies, ice creams. What other things?
I believe that it also is definitely our items that we have, and they're unique and different than most other franchise locations or franchise businesses. We make everything in house: ice cream, the pralines, and the brittle. They're all unique in taste. We offer a very warm and inviting atmosphere to our customers, and it's a lot about community and being involved in our community. And I think that's what sets us apart for other
Yeah,
franchisors.
the Pecan Jacks, we really take on the role of mentoring the youngsters of our community, um, teaching them how to greet customers, how to just engage. Because nowadays, that's not the norm.
Mhm.
Normally, they have a phone in front of them, so
It's
it's
a
a completely different environment when you walk in.
And Tim, it's a beautiful business model again, and it's a full story for those that are those franchise owners investing in their community, the people that work there and the people that are customers there too. Thank you for that. So a lot of our viewers are experienced professionals, maybe even former business owners, but they've never run an ice cream or a candy store. What kind of support and training do you all offer to make sure that franchisees succeed, especially in making a career pivot? They were doing something else and now they'd like to do this. What kind of support and training?
We offer a lot of support and training, mostly through our Pecan Jacks University, which is an online portal that hosts many videos on how to do things, videos about the brand, also a lot of training documents and instructions to be able to have at your fingertips 24 hours a day. We also offer support via phone, text. We're always there cheering you on and always here for support. What you'll find is during the training process, everything is done hands on so that you learn to do everything right there on the spot. We also support by having your being there for your pre opening and your grand opening.
Well, with the apps too, a lot of our information is right there in their hands. They're able to complete tasks by logging in their codes, and management knows that the product is done. So even if you're an absentee manager and you're running a store, you can still be in touch with the systems and processes that we have in place.
I love that you mentioned so many different ways to help support franchisees. A beautiful website that's instructional as well as informative. You also have the apps to help. And then you have you, Ronnie and Tim Wyatt, the owners of the franchise, and in leaning in to help with any questions or problems that you might have. Okay, so those folks that want to make a career pivot, help us picture this, please. What does a typical day look like for a Pecan Jack's franchise owner? And how does this business allow for family involvement or maybe lifestyle flexibility?
I would say that a day in the life of a franchisee, depending on the role they choose, if they're actively involved in the store, which is what we hope to have, it is basically having a presence within your store, coming in and taking a look and making sure that everything is in its place and ready for our guest, making sure our staff is encouraged to do their job to the best of their ability, making sure they're trained and follow up, ordering your supplies on a weekly basis. One of the most important things, I think, is also verifying that all of your checklists through our Jolt program, which is the app we use to ensure the opening goes smoothly and the closing goes smoothly.
Yeah, it's clearly designed with the processes and procedures that if you do the list,
Right.
you have a successful store. Um, it's that easy. Everything's laid out for you.
And you know what it takes, thus, you've created the list and they can follow that. I do want to touch a little bit on the family involvement or the lifestyle flexibility. You know, I can eat ice cream 365 days of the year, and your ice cream, fantastic. But what does it allow to get that business, Pecan Jacks, in with the family flow or involving family? Talk a little bit about that from some of your franchise owners.
One of the things that we love the most are the families that have joined our family as franchisees. And not only are they bringing husband and wife or partners, they're also bringing in their children to be involved in roles within the store. We start our our teens as young as 14, and we have found that a lot of the kids in the families of the franchisees are super excited about being involved with scooping and doing the checklists and sampling to customers and really taking pride and ownership just like their parents.
Yeah, taking the orders, giving out samples. There's lots of many things that they can do in the whole process. Even if it's just starting out as a 14-year-old, running samples during your crazy time
Right.
on the line at the door, and it really is engaging for them to learn that it's their store. If you ask my two grandchildren about Pecan Jacks, they both claim different stores as theirs. So even at, you know,
Well,
8 and 7 years old. So
well, then you can count 2 new franchises in the future then for your grandkids. Way to go. I do like that you mentioned, I think, Tim, you brought it up, the stewardship or the mentoring of the youngsters that work in this store, the teenagers that work in this store, serving the customer, pride of ownership in the product. And that just builds, and that's something that customers can see. That's a fantastic point. Thanks for that. Can you walk us through Pecan Jack's current footprint? Where are you operating today? And what's your vision for future expansion?
Well, as of right now, we have 26 franchise units sold. We have 2 corporate stores in Santa Rosa Beach on 30A. Those have we've had one that has been open since 2017 and the other since 2023. We currently have the Atlanta location open, and this summer we expect to have Sarasota and Midland, Texas open. Farther down the year, we're going to have several more opening. So I think by the end of the year, and counting our corporate stores, we should have 7 locations open with another 12 in the first half of next year.
That is fantastic, which means, again, the product is fantastic, how you treat the franchisees are amazing, and you offer that support. So let's talk now about what would you say to a person or a family who would that ideal person or family be to be awarded a Pecan Jack's franchise? What qualities, values, what are you looking for when you do the interview or start the conversation?
I think the most important thing to me is a passion for sweets and candy and ice cream and also making people happy and the desire to be involved in the community. Those are the things that stand out to me the most.
Mhm. And Tim, what would you offer on that as far as
Yeah,
qualities that you look for that you've seen in your franchisees?
I think what we're really pulling in on the ones that we've signed already are the people that have worked 15, 20 years at something that they did and it made good money, but it wasn't a passion, it wasn't their joy. And so when they come into a Pecan Jacks, immediately they feel relaxed. It's the whole design of the place is that way. The colors have been handpicked and selected that way. We owned a printing company for 30 years in the Virginia area where it was all about color and presentation. So even though we've just franchised Pecan Jacks recently, our first store that we opened up, people walked in and thought it was a franchise. That's the part that we bring to the table for our franchisees.
Right. So, again, the color of the stores are just beautiful and refreshing, and they, no pun intended, feed into the products that you deliver to the customers, which is very refreshing. So, it reflects those values to the franchisees. And again, it just is a very inviting atmosphere, which is fantastic. Well, Tim and Ronnie, thank you so much for the sweet conversation about Pecan Jacks. And we look forward to more conversations in the future with you.
Thank you so much for having us.
You are welcome. If you're watching this and thinking, this might be the perfect next chapter for me and my family, head over to pecanjackfranchise.com to learn more and take the next step. This could be the sweetest move you ever make. This has been another episode of Meet the Franchise. I'm Joan Bowling, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching Meet the Franchise, an exclusive interview series produced by Thought Leadership Studios, a Mosley Strategy Group brand.